Good afternoon, Antrim County. This is Veterans Voice Podcast with your host, Brandon, Matt, and now Eric. What's going on here, guys?
Yeah, think about that one for a second.
Yeah, I almost said Carrie there.
It's fine.
So used to it.
I heard from Carrie, though. She's doing good up there, It's awesome. Happy for her.
Yeah.
She's just playing catch up now.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes with, I'm not saying that nobody was motivated there before, but she has a particular way of, wanting to see the best out of whatever she's doing.
Yep.
So that'll be really cool to see how that all shakes out down there for her.
Yeah, for sure.
It's got the heart for it.
And coming up on week 1 for you,
Yes.
Buddy.
a lot of learning curves, man. You got thrown to the fire pretty fast.
Consequently, that's, I think, how I learn best.
Yeah.
Is just throw me in it.
Mm.
But the forgiveness in the process has been, it's not, I didn't do damage to anybody's claim or set the office on fire.
Yeah.
But, you guys have been, you're going to show me everything I need to know. So having that latitude and an eagerness to learn all of this, it's been a great first week, man.
Well,
For the first 3 days, we were getting slammed pretty good there.
Yeah.
That was summer is here.
they're back.
Yeah.
For sure.
Which is great.
I'm starting to see guys too I haven't seen all year, so that's positive,
Yeah. Well, shoot, we've gotten up to what, 70s?
Yeah.
This week?
Yeah. We were close to 80 one day,
Mm-hmm.
but that weather's coming.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty cool summer, cool spring.
Yeah, what's up with this whole freeze crap they were saying is coming through? I saw that and it's supposed to be like 30, and I'm like, no, there's no way.
Well, this is why my wife routinely starts planting all of her seedlings well before Memorial Day.
No, really?
And we usually get disappointed.
Oh,
That's what I was gonna
Don't
say.
start planting your stuff till after Memorial Day.
Wait for the clear.
Everybody's got their own, farmer's almanac way of doing stuff.
Oh, yeah. Mama's doing that this weekend.
Yeah.
You gotta you going to the nursery and getting their plants this year.
Yeah.
We did not start the whole seeds.
Yeah.
Inside.
It's a commitment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I can't grow shit.
No.
Nothing. It's terrible.
That's like me. Yeah. I like looking at other people's yards and their flower beds and stuff like that. And I'm just like, that looks great and everything. But in my yard, it does not. I end up getting weeds and stuff like that. I'm like,
Yep.
And Kelly's like, why don't you like flowers? It's not that I don't like flowers. I don't like the flowers that look overrun, and stuff like that.
You should spend your money on something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the time just, it takes time, crap ton of time to keep those things looking the way they do. So hats off to people who do it.
Yeah.
But my goodness, it is not worth it to me to have that.
I'm like you. I'd rather go to the nursery, pick out a tree or whatever. It's already grown a little bit, and then put it in the dirt.
Almost no way you could kill it.
See,
Almost. Give me 5 minutes. Hold my beer. I'll take care of this situation.
And the other thing are your pets.
Yeah.
Emily had a bunch of potatoes started early, and then you stagger how you do them. So you kind of always can have potatoes. And I think, I forget how many she planted, but the dogs made short work of that.
I never thought about that.
They dug them all up.
Ate them up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So Kelly, show me a video, right? Of people who do onions and potatoes, but they can they package it in a box.
Mm-hmm.
They dry it off and everything like that, and then they put it in the box and throw some dirt on it and stuff. And they do it by layers, and say that it lasts for about a year.
Oh, no kidding.
That way, put it down in the basement where it's just that cool damp.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm eager to see if that works. But dude, we go through so much food in the house that
Gotta feed a little army, bro.
Yeah.
You're only like, you got 2 squads.
and Steven has officially reached that age where he's starting to those hormones are coming in,
Mm.
and not only is he getting testy and feeling his roots, but he's eating the damn house.
Yeah.
It's that whole box of Cheez-Its age.
Yeah.
I was that guy. My mom hated me.
I still am.
Yeah, I was gonna say, all bought and paid for.
Don't put the white cheddar ones by me.
Those are my favorites too. I ain't gonna lie, especially with the BOGO.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Abel, man, that he eats pickles like no other.
Does it?
Like he will
Really?
sit there and simply eat jars of pickles. Just
Yeah.
like all.
Yeah, y'all do need a big garden.
I'm telling you.
Is he like olives?
And we have to supplement with the farmers market.
There you go. Right.
What is it? Cherry Street out there in Calcasket?
No.
Yeah. Does he like what now?
Olives.
I try to give him an olive. I like olives.
Yeah, I can just scoop it out of the jar.
Yeah.
I love them.
But he was not too
salty
keen to that one. So
that's funny.
But yeah. Well, it has been a good darn week though.
It has.
Been
busy but productive.
Yeah. I know me personally, I have 4 claims that have been committed or put in.
Yeah.
And
we got 2.
The VA, man, I don't know what in the world turned it around, but within the last 3 months, we've been seeing the turnaround times on decisions, just at or over a month.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's weird. It makes you almost kind of think though too. Yeah, because there's been a couple, like I had one of mine come back and I really thought it was a shoo-in, but it wasn't. But that one I put in December. That took forever,
Oh, yeah.
So like the IU claims, pensions are taking a little bit longer, it seems. But when it comes down to like the actual just direct compensation stuff, it's going a lot faster.
Yeah,
especially than last year, way faster.
Over the last 3 years or whatever, you can just see the ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
It just constantly goes back and forth.
You know what I don't miss? The PACT Act when it first came out. We were busting out claims, and this was like what 2.5, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was just like one after another, which is great. We're getting guys in, getting them seen, getting them taken care of, but we were busy.
That initial push was definitely.
It helped me learn real fast. Really fast.
But it's good. I'm glad the PACT Act is out there.
Me too.
It has helped out a lot of vets. It really has, whether it's the healthcare side of the house or the benefit side of the house.
Yeah.
That's a lot of good things that come from it.
It is. Yeah, a lot of guys didn't even know that. Like we're always talking about sinuses. I know it's like one of the things we talk about a lot, but it's one of the indicative things that GWAT vets got because of the burn pit stuff. And guys kept chalking it up to allergies, which there's rhinitis too.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the PACT Act. But all these years later, and then they go on there and get rated and they get 50%, and they're just like, holy crap. Yeah, it's that bad. The sinus thing with us is terrible.
Yeah. My second deployment, I can remember right down to the day. We were coming back into the fueling point, and in Iraq, I don't know how familiar you guys are with that, but like majority of them, a lot of them are very, very dusty, the fobs and stuff. They just throw down, stone and the moon dust.
I was just going to say the moon already.
Dust. But then they would go through and water and just, try to tame that down through there. This particular fob we went to, we were only going to be there for like 2 hours, 3 hours or something like that. And the moon dust was just caked up about 6 inches.
Ugh.
Right. So we're driving the striker into the fuel point, going through that, and it's just kicking it all up. And you come out of there with that shit all just in your nose. And after that, I could not smell unless it's a very strong smell. I have lost that piece.
That moon dust is just something different that trying to explain to somebody else that's never been there. Afghanistan too, same way.
Yeah,
in a lot of areas, and I don't think anybody's been right ever since. Like my taste, like all my senses are dulled now ever since Afghanistan. It's the weirdest thing.
I don't know how it affected your guys's, but like our air intake filters would just get caked and it would choke it out. Oh my gosh.
No time flat.
No filter there, buddy. Can't filter those farts inside the cab. Oh,
But I enjoyed my time in the service, and I miss it like crazy. I really do.
for sure.
A lot of lessons, a lot of growing up I had to do, but
I miss the work,
the
satisfaction of getting the job done.
and I enjoyed being deployed more than I did being back in garrison.
It's funny how that is.
Away from that flag. You know what I'm saying?
Get to do your own thing. Micromanaging's somewhat gone.
It was simple though. You had your mission, go out and do your mission, come back, and then, whatever time you have to muster next, or, inspections or layouts,
Stuff, yeah.
whatever it be, weapons maintenance, vehicle maintenance. But it was simple. It was a daily grind.
Oh, yeah.
And you never did anything alone.
No.
That's probably the big thing for me is that camaraderie, that teamwork. And I'm not saying there were no individual efforts, but it always ended up being a collective.
It's so true.
And keeping track of things. If you have to go somewhere else, you have to leave your weapon behind, and you I was like, you're not leaving it with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not doing that. There'd be some official signatures. Oh, there goes the armor right over there. You should probably go talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't leave them weapons, man. We had one of those guys leave his, we were spun up already, so we're only halfway through, get to another fob. Yeah.
Oh, hell no, not deployed.
Left us in his porta potty. Left his weapon in there. It was not good.
Yeah.
Thankfully, our chief was a nice guy and was able to kind of recorrect him without having to give him an article. But yeah,
you don't get that much anymore.
No.
Yeah, everybody was in a rush for that Article 15 or UCMJ actions versus is corrective training.
Yeah.
Go get an ass chewing. Conics box counseling. You believe it still happens? Yes, it does. I mean, I'll take a good smack over the head than Article 15 any day.
I probably needed it anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say me too. I was a snotty little 25-year-old when I joined, so.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Man.
But, yeah, so.
Well, we got outreach this weekend.
Yeah, Memorial Day coming up.
We're going to have the van in the East Jordan's Memorial Day Parade. And then we're going to be heading right off from there, going to Alden.
Yeah.
So we'll be out there. We always hit up Alden, so.
And you got a pack of 3 coming.
Yep. We're going to bring Nicky.
Bunch of rolling deep.
Nicky and Eric, bumping some Bob Marley or whatever you guys want to do.
Throwing some candy, right?
I'm partial to Slayer, but that's all.
There you go. Rocking downtown Alden with Slayer.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. Heck, a lot of times John Nuffler is out there to the Alden one last time. I didn't see him in a little bit.
Yeah, it's usually a pretty good crowd. A lot of older cars and stuff in it. Carrie's dad's usually in front of me. Kevin's always there. Oh man, Kevin's got to be in almost every parade though, I swear. I don't know how he does it. Or Sheriff.
Try to get him, yeah.
That guy I don't know how he does it sometimes.
But it's good people and it's a good time.
It is.
We haven't been to the East Jordan one though.
No.
So I'm curious to see how that one goes.
Yeah, this will be the first one. Talked to a guy named Pat from the post out there, so we got everything finalized for that today, so we know for sure we're in it and everything else. And then trying to think where else we were talking. Oh yeah, the East Jordan Tourist Park. So we're going to try to do is on Thursdays. They have their farmers market. It's really a really decent farmers market. So I'm trying to get out there. Might not be able to make every Thursday, but we'll be able to at least try to get out there on the Thursdays. But yeah, we get a lot of vets go to that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I must have seen 8 last time I was out there. So
by all means, you see the van, you see the guys in the shirts and stuff. I mean, feel free to swing out, say hey.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a bullshit. I mean,
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
We
got Nikki who is she's at Navy, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yes. I had to think about that.
But her story and all that she's gone through on a personal level. It's very touching, endearing in the way she takes life.
Yeah.
You know,
I
wish I had that.
Man, through all the trials and tribulations she's dealing with now and has been, my goodness, that woman.
Yeah, she's never given up, honestly.
Yeah.
I love watching her. She's got little TikToks and Instagram reels and stuff of, well, you know, what she went through and everything else. And the whole time I'm sitting there just like, I have no excuse. I have no excuse to complain and bitch and moan about stupid things, you know?
No.
Somebody else has got it way worse than you do.
Yeah. Exactly. But it'd be awesome. Get her out there and, you know, so yeah, stop by, say hey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we thought about doing coffee out there because like part of our territory, our county, you know, meets up with or into East Jordan there.
Yeah.
You know, but Charlotte always got that bad boy going with their coffee talk, which is great.
Yeah.
As long as there's some kind of representation or, you know, some kind of point of contact to be, you know, asking questions or face out there and stuff, helps the word spread.
Yeah, absolutely.
It helps get them relations built.
Something we need up here too. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
The network is getting stronger. Today we just got an update. We're over 1,200 followers now on Facebook, so we crested that 1,100 mark.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I remember when we were just pushing for 900, and then
was it that low?
And then 1,000. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't even think that far back ago when I first started, like on Facebook. Damn, that's pretty decent.
That's awesome, man. We're constantly growing. That's amazing.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you to everybody who listens and who visits that page and, you know, helps push the information out there. It's the only way, unfortunately, especially in today's, you know, day and age, is through the social media,
massive,
you know, platforms. We've even talked about doing a TikTok, you know, which, you know, stay tuned. We'll be getting that out there here in a bit.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, just had a brain fart.
See, that
literally just happens.
What had happened was
Supposed to have been that schedule you were keeping early when you came back.
I hate that.
Takes 2 days off and it gets me.
I know. I took the extra day because we did Petoskey stuff. I did Petoskey Stone Festival, so I worked, you know, Saturday most of the day from, you know, 8 to 4. So I had Monday off, and I also have Tuesdays off normally. I came in Wednesday. It was like boom, 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 back to back.
To be fair, I was left unsupervised with the calendar, and there may have been some.
Hey, you're learning anyway, and it's gonna happen. There's been days where both Brandon and I have had like doubled up appointments all the way through where we don't even talk to each other. I mean, it's happened where, hey, how's your day going? It's 2:00 in the afternoon. Finally, we're starting to get that lull, but I mean, I'd rather have it than sitting around. You know?
I gotta tell you,
sure.
I would rather me be stacked up.
Yeah.
You know, it makes the day go by. It keeps me on point. It keeps my brain going and active.
Yep.
You know, so that's just my preference.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me, I just suck at it because I gotta like write every single thing down. Okay, remember, I gotta do this, that, and everything else. But if you get that, and you get your layout, like, hey, it just took this guy, everything's in retrospect. You actually follow that flow. It comes easy. It's weird. It really is. I just gotta learn how to get back into it.
Right.
Yeah. You know, at the end there's 1,001 ways to do claim work, and not a single one of them is right or wrong. You know, as long as it works for the vet, and you see the results at the end in a positive manner, you know,
and you can't mess it up, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah,
you'd have to physically go out of your way to mess up the claim for the better. You know what I mean?
But even if there was an accident or something to that effect, you always have a pathway forward.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, like when we talk about denials and everything like that, you know, we had that conversation earlier where, you know, I absolutely need to read that rating narrative and see exactly why the claim was denied. Majority of the time, it's going to be continuity care or no diagnosis. You know, you get those others that, you know, are just plain out not service connected, and they you know, just can't find them. you know, and you see that more with the Navy or Marines,
Yep.
you know, with the ship logs and stuff like that we talked about. But once you have an idea of why the claim was denied, you know, you have a picture of moving forward. And sometimes it just takes that letter from the doctor or a tweaking of that letter from the doctor to provide that nexus, that connection to service. Yeah. Especially like we were talking about with the secondary conditions.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't know what secondary conditions are, when we say this, we mean like, okay, let's say you have a service connected knee injury, right? Which has affected your gait and your walk, and your ability to move correctly, whether you're standing, picking up, walking, any type of movement, right? And then that injury impacts other parts of your body, just because your body's meant to move one way.
Right.
All right. So you get that injury in the knee, and then all of a sudden your hip starts becoming worn down, whether it's arthritis or, functionally just being inhibited, due to any kind of impingement of muscular or skeletal. And that's because of the injury to your knee. So you could file a secondary claim for that hip because of that service connected knee, right? Now, the difference in the two, as far as whenever you're putting in a claim that you really got to be able to think of and explain to the VA, is the burden of connecting it to that original injury, right, has now jumped twofold compared to the natural claim, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid.
Like, yes and no.
Yeah.
Right. I get it, because you get injured and there's 1,000 factors, in life. And it may not just be because of that injury. So we kind of really have to prove that this injury is the direct cause.
Yeah.
And
sometimes it's a pain in the butt.
It can be, right? It absolutely can be. But then you see sometimes where a condition, could be a standalone condition. You go and file for that, but then it gets lumped into another one,
right?
And the VA kind of plays that math game with you. VA math, you gotta love that. We had that.
Is it considered math, or I'm still trying to figure that one out? It's like a long division table on crack, basically, to me. Like, I'm not good with numbers, so never have been. So I look at it and I'm just like, I thank God for was it Hill and Pontons? They got that calculator for VA math you can go into.
Yeah, but did you notice that? Well, last time I used it, that calculator has changed, and I haven't been able to see the menu. Now it'll tell you your overall rating, but it won't give me the I'm 83%, or to see exactly where they're at within that scale,
right?
Because everything the VA does, they round it up by tens.
You know what I just thought about? I have on my browser, there's, how browsers will have like apps or programs built in, like the one that if you're shopping online, it'll be like, hey, this website's got 20% off on it, or kind of let you know. I can't remember. I'll get you guys a link for it, but it's really neat. Once you set it up, you link your VA account with your rating on there, and I don't know if it was CivDiv or whatever, but it's a legit VA app that you can combine with your thing. So it'll show your overall ratings broken down completely and your exact percentages on it, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I haven't used it forever, but that's a really good one. But
cool.
Yes, there are videos explaining the ease with which VA math works.
Oh yeah.
And then you watch them break it down. I'm like, no, it makes sense. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you watch it a few times, and eventually, I'm sure it makes a little more sense. But
Well, even in like
well,
your basic accreditation course, they're kind of like they explain it, but they don't go into complete detail with it. You know,
right.
As long as you have a general idea, you know, that's pretty much all you need to do. And okay, it makes sense, you know, as a mathematical problem. No, it don't make sense. But I understand the procedural piece that they put
There you go.
together.
right?
There you go.
You know,
Nail it.
so 60 plus 30 don't equal 90.
Yeah,
You know,
I had guys call and say I'm 230%
Yeah,
disabled and stuff, and I'm like,
good for you.
well, hey, how's that? Okay, so let's talk. let's get in the bottom of it. Then I that's where a lot of that explaining comes in, and then still sometimes you're kind of
I've got a video you can watch.
yeah.
Sometimes that's the easiest way because
That
you
is.
know they have the tools at their disposal to actually put up like props and stuff to help
Yeah,
you know, picture the math in your head and everything like that. Now, if that's something that you know you guys want to learn a little bit more of, we can definitely dive into the minutia of it.
sure.
You know, but yeah, VA math is always fun.
Always remember the guy in class when I first started. He was like, "This is your whole body. This is 100%, and you got disabled. You got 50%." And that, you know what I mean? Like he was trying to break it down on his hand and stuff, and then he got to a point where I'm like, "Wait a minute." So yeah, it's sometimes you almost need a visualizer to kind of explain to the vets and stuff.
I feel like some days you get it.
Yep.
You've got the procedure down.
Yeah.
And then you try it and you're like, no, that didn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
So it just,
But then
more exposure and more exposure.
you get additional funds that you can get in there through the special monthlies as well.
Yeah, SMKs.
Mm-hmm.
There's SMKs, ED, and God, just look this up too.
Tonight, this is actually one.
There was SMK.
Well, until they officially get a change order, but
I forgot how many SMKs there. Was SMK, J, and something else, I think. I just looked it up, so this is kind of bumming me out in my brain because I was like, yeah, I know about the SMKs now, but that's another thing too. Like as far as like your Vietnam guys, a lot of them have. We were talking about the diabetes type 2, mellitus, hypertension, anything heart related and stuff like that. But Wilson Brimley, diabetes. That's his nickname, by the way. No offense, love you to death. But
my family, my brothers in particular, and my nephews, I have Uncle Tummy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tummerson, Tummy.
That's funny.
Yeah, if I were motivated enough to lose the weight to lose that moniker, I don't think I would.
Me too.
I think they would still call me that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's fine.
But yeah, so if you got diabetes, a lot of that stuff, the secondary condition to that is ED.
Yeah,
and it's very indicative of that. And I've actually successfully got guys the SMK. Now there's been other times where I put in for an SMK ED, and they just flat out won't do it. Like I just had another guy, he was Agent Orange exposed, conceded that he's Agent Orange exposed, yet they still denied it, even though he's got a bunch of these heart conditions and hypertension and all this other stuff.
Yeah, it depends on how it's filed too, right?
Yeah.
You know, if it's just because it's Agent Orange didn't cause it.
Right.
You know, so
yeah.
Wording, we were talking about that earlier too. Wording matters a lot on these claims.
Yep.
Right. So 100%.
The devil's in the details.
And keep it simple, stupid. I found out, like, especially when you're doing a 4138 explaining each of these conditions and stuff, I've gone to way too much on stuff. And come to find out, I really only took the first part of the sentence for them to understand exactly what's going on. And then, boom, there it is.
Otherwise, you convolute it and make it, you know.
And with these new purple haired raiders that we got going on there, it's kind of a different thing. You got to explain stuff to them, like a lot.
Yeah.
Like the USS Forstall incident. I never understood that. We had a guy that was on the Forstall when the explosion happened, was part of the whole cleanup. Saw a lot of people die. And they came back. I think it was an IU claim I was doing for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they came back and they're like, we need more information about this incident. I was like, really? So I went to wikipedia.com, type in the USS Forstall, copied and pasted the first 2 sentences of it, put it back on the 4138, and said veteran was on ship, just keep it simple, stupid, right? It worked. Got him it. But it's the fact that Raider didn't even know what the heck the USS Forrestal was. Like, you think in the business you would actually understand that kind of history, but it might have been a young brand new Raider because we had a lot of brand new Raiders coming in. So,
well, I'm not telling anybody how to do their job, but I feel like when you're trying to reference something, what do we always do? Well, let me Google this real quick.
Yeah.
To see if it can make a connection with me.
Yeah.
Or their procedure is just to kick it back and say, hey.
Never know.
Yeah.
I would love to have, me and Carrie were talking about that one time. It would be awesome to get the behind the scenes look as a VSO to see how the rating process goes. Like, I don't need to be at their office looking over their shoulder while they're doing it, but I want to know, like, procedurally, I want to see it so I physically know exactly how this is doing it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that. You just kind of guess at where they're at, and then of course we got VBMS where we can check in that and kind of see where the CMP exam's at. Oh, yep, he's got a CMP exam. All right, now it's going with the Raider. Oh no, it's been kicked back, deferred to another Raider because that Raider didn't have enough, education or whatever level they were. I don't know what it is. But,
yeah.
It happens a lot.
Sure.
But at least we had trackability.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So. Yeah. Thank goodness for that PIV card. That's the best tool of a VSO. I'm telling you right now. It's almost I don't know how other VSOs can do claim work without it sometimes.
Oh, shit. You and Redmond both were going without it for the longest time.
Most of my career.
I think it was 3 years. Yeah. He started the process and then had to go do stuff outside of it.
Yep.
And then, of course, that time's out. And then come back. But the nice thing is all your stuff was saved.
I was so happy about that because I was at Joel's DM form work for this again. I was about to lose my crap, but I guess it was my picture. They already had everything they needed.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to run it through. I'm like, oh, thank God. Not just all I got to do is drive to Saginaw, go get it.
Yeah.
Which is an adventure in itself, too.
Yeah. I'd rather, and that's my thing, I'd rather go to Saginaw where the actual PIV card office is in case there's an incident. I know they can ship it to the C box and stuff like that, but
then you're still running the risk because if it doesn't work or link up, well, I guess we're going back,
Back to Saginaw.
Do it right there and be done with it,
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So,
well,
that's been pretty good, solid con. That's the first time I can actually say that we've talked more than Eric.
Yeah. You should probably make note of that. I was like, don't worry.
Well,
once comfortable.
Once you start learning and get more comfortable, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally what this podcast is, though. When I first started this, I envisioned it being like at the smoke pit. You know what I mean? Where everybody kind of gaggles around and just. You notice that, by the way?
I'm just saying we could, just connect up their smoke detector and then just have a little cigar room.
Oh, there you go.
That'd be awesome.
You know what I'm
the
saying?
cigars, man.
Mitch can't smell anything.
That's right.
So we're good there.
It was weird, though. Did you guys notice the lights? That was weird. The podcast went really bright and then.
Power surge?
Yeah, I probably turned my forehead towards the lights.
No, take my hat off. We would be blinded.
So stay tuned. We do have a couple things that we're working on as far as outreach events. I know we got the Memorial Day parades coming up, and and then we've already got some farmers markets scheduled. We have little events where we'll have the booths out, in front of different areas in the community, whether it's a store, a restaurant, or anything like that. Keep looking at our Facebook because we'll have it all up to date as far as any extra activities that we're doing. At this point in time, we're contemplating on putting a team together again for paddle antrim. So that's something that somebody's interested in. Please let us know. The biggest thing is just try and get this information out to everybody.
Yes.
We talk about it all the time where, we see so many Vietnam era vets now and they, thank goodness they're coming in and stuff like that and getting their benefits and everything like that. but it's the working class, the non-retired,
Yep.
vets that are just, they're living their daily life. They're taking care of their family. They're not going to see us, when we're only here in the office Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
They may see resemblances or they may hear from other people and stuff like that. But, as far as being able to get themselves taken care of, their first priority is their daily life and their family.
It's true.
I
think that's a big thing is the late 20s to early 30s guys, the vets that are, freshly out. I'd say within like 5 years, around that time. We'll get them every once in a while at coffee talk, but a lot of those guys work either early in the morning, some work at third shifts, to make ends meet. The wife works during the daytime, he works at nighttime, kind of stuff. And so I remember those years, and it's hard to want to, especially when I was living in Florida, I had to work full time at Publix. The American Legion was always after me for funerals, for all these other things. And it's just like, bro, I gotta work. If I don't work, I can't pay my bills and I don't have that free time. So it'd be nice to see younger guys,
Yeah.
Where's those Space Force people at? You know what I mean? Like, let's see some new blood in here. It'd be nice. And, that's something we can plan, in the future is possible stuff that's more kind of designed for the younger generation.
Yeah.
Where both generations can. The Vietnam guys are more than welcome to come, but it'd be nice to have something that the younger guys are kind of into too.
Mhm. And with the office here, we are more than willing to meet up on a weekend, as long as we plan ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
To make sure that we can accommodate your schedule.
Yep.
What do you need? Because we want to make sure you're taken care of. So it is not outside of our ability to come in. We've done it, multiple times in the past, and everything like that.
Do a lot of home visits.
Mhm.
That's not a problem either. I don't know, some guys are not as mobile as they used to be, or the younger guys, they, don't have a car or whatever. If we need to come, we'll take care of you one way or another.
Yep,
Help you out.
for sure. So, Eric, what's one thing that you've learned so far in the week? It's pretty early in your career, but what is one thing you've noticed or taken away from this business?
Well, kind of piggybacking off what you guys were just talking about, the need that we service, the community outreach stuff, getting the word out, finding these veterans, whether it's however you can do it, it can be a Herculean task.
Yeah.
But as far as in the office, I think I'm recognizing that the forms are all the same, but the experiences and individuals are different.
Oh yeah.
So the process might be very similar, but every experience is different.
Yep.
And it's a really kind of back and forth, like, oh, well, if every form is the same, then this should be a breeze.
Right.
But it's not. It's same but different.
And that's really important you're saying that too, because I've had tried, that's the best way to explain it to some veterans is, yeah, well, so-and-so told me to come up and sign up for VA healthcare. And I'm like, oh, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to put a claim in, and we served about the same time. Or I've had one guy's been in the same exact place as the other guy has been. Same deployment, same everything. That guy's rated 100. The other guy's rated at 60, 70, whatever. And they're completely different. And then the other guy's like, well, what the heck, Well, your story is completely different from the other guy.
Right.
You guys weren't doing the same exact thing in the same exact way, the same exact time at all times. You know what I mean?
This individual went to a sick call and got diagnosed for certain issues, but this person pushed through the issues.
Yeah.
Which then makes the burden of proof, that much more of a task.
And usually it's a win or two.
Yeah. But and if somehow we can reach current service members, go to sick call.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't ignore it.
Oh yeah.
Don't listen to it. It's not a privilege. It's a right that you go get seen.
No.
And I know that has been a repeated story. All right. Mine too.
Yeah.
You ain't going to sick call. If I don't find you in formation in the morning, don't show up, see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Go on sick call, man. Advocate for yourself.
I remember, before a deployment, everybody's worried about not getting sick, making sure the teeth are all taken care of, everything's good to go, so you're deployable.
Yeah.
Because that's what you want. You don't want to be stuck at home for 9 months, And a lot of it was like post deployment. They would come in and be like, "Man, I screwed my knee up on that fob and everything else. Don't freaking tell Chief that. Keep it quiet, dude." Or like, I hate to say it, but I was that squad leader at one point, or fire team leader at one point in my life, where I'm just like, "Can you wait till the weekend, or can you?" Because so and so's, how it is, and it was that same freaking mindset that if you're broken, you're a turd, and people don't understand that, and that's all branches. That's not just Navy, Air Force,
Sure.
Marine Corps. I mean, you don't want to be sick because you're kind of looked upon as like a leg,
Yeah.
a dead leg,
Yep.
and it sucks. It's kind of pathetic, honestly, but
Well, I feel like maybe the service is moved in a direction that it's not like it used to be.
right,
And for some reasons that's good. For some reasons that's bad.
yeah,
But that's just my personal opinion. But having, I don't want to say caring about people more now,
right,
but, health issues, mental health issues, all that stuff is looked at a little differently. And you could ask a Vietnam vet to spread himself so thin that you couldn't ask a person today
right.
to do the same thing.
Oh yeah,
And that's not a knock on anybody. I think that's just
it's a generation.
how society has crept into
There.
to the military. And I'm not bagging on anybody, but
Yeah.
There's
a vast difference between World War II to GWAT, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And how everything is run completely.
Yeah.
I don't think all three of us together would be able to do military
No.
back in the 40s,
No.
No. Hardcore motherfucker.
You ain't kidding.
And then to just come home and go back to work like nothing happened.
Yeah. We still got 2 that I know of. They're 90, one's 93, one's 95.
Wow.
Really? I thought we were.
There's a couple still lingering, but I think they're not originally from the area, so they might have transplanted or whatever. But still, that's why they're the greatest generation.
Yeah. And the reason I went into the military,
I mean, yeah,
because of guys like that and girls. I mean, there was more guys then, but
John Wayne got me at a young age.
yeah, for sure.
I was watching, Green Beret and all those classic John Wayne movies and stuff, and then I didn't know about the fighting CBs until I got into A school, became a CB. I'm like, wait a minute, all these years, John Wayne did a CB movie? Like, holy crap. But is that generation of the movies and the music and all that stuff, that's what got me when I was younger.
Absolutely.
It's like, I'm going to be like G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Now I'm broke. Physically and mentally.
And to be fair, those G.I. Joe movies then were a little more believable.
Yeah, for sure.
There is not that equipment.
Nope. Military grade.
Yeah.
That's my favorite word, military grade.
All right.
Well, you go.
No, you're good. It was a good episode. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate you guys and all the hard work you've given, and let's keep pushing it.
Absolutely.
On to another week.
Have a great Memorial Day, guys.
Yeah. Don't forget what it's about.